someone new can be quite scary, and if they are aggressive, it'll make you quite wary, but there are moves you can use to counter such a foe, and Wechselhau's a good one you really should know. Hey friends, I want to talk about something that's kind of been shaped by what we've been doing in our local class. Our Saturday Longsword study group has been looking at dealing with Oberhaus, and if you have tournaments, sparring, whatever's going on, and people open with this standard Oberhau attack, how do you counter that? And we've been looking at multiple ways, 8, 9 different ways, and one of them I want to focus on today because I think it's really good against an aggressive opponent. It's called Wechselhau or Wechselhau, depending on how you want to say it. We probably say Wechselhau a lot. We're in Canada, whatever. It means change. It's a change strike. And when I get up and demonstrate a little bit more, you'll understand why. Because you're really changing the line of things. Now, it can be done from different positions, and there are a few variations of it, but what we teach is really good against an aggressive opponent. Now, we have someone who's tall and strong, and, some of the techniques that I was doing to counter that in a line drill that we were doing, they're a little tough. You feel, oh, wow, that's a lot of power, and I got little niddly arms, and they're not, I'm having some trouble, I'm not timing it right. But I find that when you're dealing with a very aggressive, maybe a tall, strong opponent who wants to throw these big, powerful swings at you, sometimes putting the brakes on it isn't the ideal way to deal with that. So you got that aggressive person, you're a little scared, you don't want to end up collapsed. Well, Wechselhau is something that you can do. Change strike. So what is it all about? Well, simply put, if you are in a position, particularly a middle hut, or an Alber, the Fool, a position up, down, you are taking the opposing sword, changing the line, coming back down, and I like to add a little bit of a sidestep to it. So a lot of what's happening is you are using the flat of the blade to impact that Oberhau. So let's say it's right-handed versus right-handed. That cut is coming towards me like this, okay? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use the energy, all that power in that sword that's coming towards me, and send it that way. Some are sort of like judo, where they talk about using an opponent's strength against themselves. I want to redirect that. So I'm creating an opening. I'm saying, yep, come at me with an Oberhau. I am open. But I know what I'm going to do, and I am going to go up. So it is a lot of different motions all at once, but I'm going to go up and come down. Okay, let's break this down a little bit. So I'm going to push with my left hand, pull with my right hand. My arms are going to come up, so I'm working shoulders, not doing much with my elbows to start. And I am using the flat edge of the sword to knock the opposing sword further in the direction where it's going. Now, don't take a big step back doing that because then you're out of range for the next part. But you could do a little step back if you needed. I prefer to go to the side when I do this. And that's really the motion. So up, down. When I do this, the sword is coming in. I am getting out of the way. It's aiming for me here. So I don't want to be here. I want to be here. So I am moving and deflecting at the same time. I am protected because I am getting behind my sword. And then I am coming down and I'm landing on the arm. So that's how we really work it, is this is a good way to cut the arm. If you have the distance, if you have longer arms while doing this, sure, you could aim for the head. But the whole idea is this big, strong, scary, intimidating opponent is coming at you with this big swing. You may not be able to stop it like that. Okay, I may not feel comfortable. It may not go perfectly well. Depending on what the move is, the person may swing around. It may still get me. If I'm worried about that, I just get out of the way. So up to deflect, change the line, drop the sword down. Change strike. And that's kind of our interpretation of it. Up, down. So you're changing your opponent's line, and then you are attacking the opening that you create. Because that's really what a lot of sword fighting is. You're looking for an opening, you want to make sure that you have control of the situation, and then you go for the opening that you create and keep. Okay? So that's our interpretation of Wechselhau, or Wechselhau, however you want to say it. And it's really good because, again, that really aggressive opponent really wants to power through, take it, send their sword in that direction, take it, change the line, come down, attack the arm. If it were a real sword fight, you probably go right for the inside of the elbow and then follow up with a thrust and then kind of cut on your way, stepping back. Why hit once when you can hit 2-3 times? Yeah, do that. But yeah, if you're in class, if you're sparring, if it's a tournament, go for the forearm, hit the arm protection. You get a nice sound, especially if it's plastic forearm protection, and that signals to everyone that you got a hit. But again, just to summarize, I'm up, so I'm moving my whole body, I'm snapping the sword, so I'm generating that power, so I don't need big muscles because I'm using physics, and I'm changing and coming down into the opening. I can hit the arm. If I'm close enough, I can hit the head. Now, I don't want to step forward because maybe I'll still get hit. The tip of the sword may still get me as I'm doing this, so I want to just stay in range of the arms. I can cut the arm, and it's an excellent way to keep that opponent from doing those big cuts. You suddenly teach them, hey, nope. If you're going to keep doing that and try and just pummel me into submission, I'm just going to dart around. I'm going to be fast. And it's important to conserve your movement doing these techniques. What you want to make sure is that when you're up, maybe it's a little loop as you come back down. You don't want to put on the brakes fully and have to come crashing down. There's a lot of strain on your muscles and tendons. But up, down, little loop. Don't take a big circle because, of course, the more distance you cover, the more time it takes. The more time it takes, the slower you are. So, if you conserve your movement, if you focus on the shortest distance between 2 points being a straight line, so keep the line as short as possible, as straight as possible, it'll make you fast and you'll come down. And it's one thing that I've used, and I used it against my co-instructor on Saturday, and it went really well. And I landed a blow in the head because he was really coming aggressively. And yeah, he bounced off my shoulder afterwards, but I hit him in the head. So, yeah, just a little tap in the mask. Yeah, I did it. Because we're not, full intensity going at it, even though we're wearing all the gear. But still, it was a great example of how I can use something that I've really learned to love as a maneuver, this Wechselhau. And set aside, change the line, strike. Something to think about. So if you've got that aggressive person that you have to spar against, use your little techniques. Lateral movements. Redirect that person's energy. Use it against them, right? Don't try and stop it. Redirect it. And change the line. That's a good way to really make sure that you can get in those hits against that opponent. Yeah, just something I wanted to share because it's something we've been working on in class, and I thought, hey, that'd be fun. If you're doing any fencing or sparring, or you're just looking to write a story and you want a really cool technique, there you go. Wechselhau, the change strike. Anyway, friends, we are at 1,067 subscribers. That's really cool. Still, growth on the channel. View hours a little bit down, but views are still okay. So we're doing all right. Yeah. Things are good. And as always, remember, subscribe and like, and of course comment, because your comments shape the channel. Whatever you want to know about, I can try and do videos about. That's the idea. Right? And anyway, friends, until next time, as I always say, take care, take safe, and take care, stay safe, and keep on swinging.